Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of CookieCast. Today on CookieCast, it's the Darkest Timeline. I was going to give you this whole spiel about how it's a new version of the Darkest Timeline and it's all changed here, it's all different. And I go into it in the podcast right at the start, but it's same taste, same good taste, same good flavour. That doesn't make sense. Anyway, this week I am discussing Data. Yeah, the dreaded Data. The car saga continues. New music to talk about. That's always fun. We've got games, no movies. We've got TV and some more games because games are big at the moment. So, you know. Before we get started, please do consider like, share, subscribe and comment. Leave a review where you can leave a review. And share this one around. I know I've already said it, but you know, sharing's the one we like. That's the best. That's the best one. Right, let's get started. Here we go. This is CookieCast, the Darkest Timeline. Hello. Oh, how you doing? Are you well? Are you good? Oh, I do hope you are well and you are good. Not like you're being good. I mean, I hope you're doing well. If for any reason you are not, do get in touch. Reach out, say hi, and we'll say hi back. And that's how it works. And if you don't feel like reaching out to us here, reach out to a friend or a family member, or there are services out there that you can reach out to. But reach out to anyone here at the podcast and we will reach back. That sounds weird. Or maybe it doesn't. Something to think on. I had this whole speech lined up about how I was about to do a silly joke. I had this whole thing lined up for where I was like, oh, I'm gonna try and do something different this time and see how it flows and this and the other. And then I've looked at the stuff I've got to talk about this week and gone, it doesn't quite fit. Recently, I've been having some, I was going to say existential crisis. Not like that. Right. Shortest version is this. I've been hearing a lot about the death of podcasting. A lot of people talking about the death of podcasting. I don't believe it to be a thing. But I will say that the landscape of podcasting has changed quite considerably over the many years that it's been a thing, and a lot of the big boys are getting out of the game. And one way to look at it would be that just means there's more for the rest of us, and another way to look at it would be they have seen the writing on the wall. What do I think? Well, recently, podcasting's been weird. I start out with these amazing intentions, like, oh, I'm going to talk about this, and then I talk about stuff and go, that was not what I wanted it to be, not what I intended it to be, not what I set out, what I thought it was going to be in my head, or any of those sorts of things. So I had this wild idea that I was going to skinny everything back, focus on the stuff that I really wanted to talk about, not get bogged down with some, like, the earlier parts of the podcast, really sort of try and talk more about reviews and things like that. Because I always feel my reviews are either, it is good, or this was rubbish. And that's kind of it. And although I don't imagine that I'm, the best reviewer out there, there is more to say. But after you've been talking for an hour, to then go into like a real deep dive into something, you've got to respect people's time. And that one of the people's time I have to respect is my own. So I was like, right, I'm going to talk. I've got two real solid things to talk about. I want to get those two things talked about, and then I want to get out clean and talk about like other stuff, because I've watched a lot of TV this week, and I always hate how that sounds, but I am also a little bit in the camp of for want of a better way of putting it, I have a lot of time on my hands, and that's not what I mean when I say that. What I mean is I get on the treadmill multiple times a week. Me and Leanne sit down and we watch TV while we eat. I know we shouldn't, and weirdly, until this evening, we'd not been doing that. So what changed? I hear you ask, because I got a little off track. What changed was, organically, some stuff turned up, and I was like, well, I can't not talk about that. It makes sense to talk about those things. I was like, okay, well, if it's something that you feel like you have to get out of your head, you've got to get it down on paper because you have to talk about it, then that's legit. So now I've got a list of stuff to talk about. Two of the things on the list happened today. One, I was like, whoa. And positive results. So let's get into it and see how we get on. By now, I don't think it's any secret that I don't like adverts. There's a lot of other things I don't like. I don't like adverts. I don't like when people want to charge you for stuff. I don't like when you are getting shafted, and there's a lot of that going on at the moment. I've seen a thing this evening saying that PlayStation are going to start age verifying people, yet it's been categorically it's widely known that the age verification thing is just this massive elaborate scam, all led by a certain company. A whole other thing to go into, but anyway, I have 4 children. This might come as a surprise. I never talk about it. I've got 4 children. They are split into 3 groups. My eldest goes to a school. The 2 middle guys go to a school, and the little guy goes to a school. 3 different things, which, as I'm sure any parent out there will know right now, that means 3 different school apps. And we love the apps. Love's a strong word, isn't it? It's it can always be in the same camp as loathe. Like, I've had 12 emails from one of them today. So-and-so posted an update. Well, guess what? This so-and-so doesn't fucking care. So-and-so got a point today. Don't care. Oh, here's the thing that your child is doing right now. Cool. And in fact, it was not going to take me too much because I've already got part of it open. Although it's on the wrong bit of the screen. Let me just go down ever so slightly on here, and I will tell you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that still today? Okay, 6, is that 6? 6 separate entries of these things, and some of these entries have multiple entries. So, just that 6 is more like 12. It's more like, if I'm honest, it's more like 15 or 20. So they're always banging on. One of them, the app, At some point in time, about a year ago, it was like, hey, you can do this thing where you do this blah, 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 and do-do-do, and do-do-do. Only if you give us money, though. I'm like, I don't think it's super ethical for an app that you have to have. Got to have it because you've got to keep up to date with everything that's going on in school because the post updates there that you need to know for that day, and you need to know about when parents' evening is and when the school play is, and you can only get that information through the app. I think it's super unethical for it to then say, hey, we could, charge you money and you could get more stuff. It's like, no. How about that? And that was that. And every now and then, it's like, did you know that you could get more if you pay us? And I'm like, you can piss the fuck right off. The other day, it's like, oh, there's an update that you absolutely must check right now. Okay, let me have a look. We've updated our terms and conditions, privacies, all of that fun stuff. You need to accept it. Now, a lot of these things fall down because they use specific words. And those words are, you need to accept how we go about using your data. And I go, I don't want you to use my data at all. So now we're going to have a problem. So that's the first part of the problem. The next part of the problem is when you go into the section that's like, here's what we do with your child's data. I'm like, go on. It's like, we collect absolutely fucking everything. Everything. Barring asking for a DNA sample, they collect everything. Absolutely everything you could possibly imagine. My personal favourite was where they said that they would use facial recognition software on your child, images of your child, etc. They've got absolutely everything: name, date of birth, address, school they attend, clubs they absolutely everything. It was page after page after page after page of information that they collect. And then it goes on to say that they will then share that information absolutely fucking everywhere. My favourite was that their facial recognition software that they said that they were going to use, brought to you by the wonderful and super ethical people over at that company where you get all your parcels from. And I was like, fuck this. They're like, but wait, there's more. I was like, well, of course there is. Let's tell you about what we do with your data. Obviously, you're on the app. Your children are there on the app, but you are the one using the app, controlling the app. And they went, guess what? Yeah, we also collect all your data as well. Bundle it all up in a big old package, sell it to any fucker that will buy it, right? Literally anybody. They were like, okay, here's your choices. You can press this button, you can contact us, and you can say, hey, don't do any of that shit. And we won't. Now, you may lose some access to the app. You may lose a bit of the access. Your child, they probably won't be able to use the app anymore. If you don't, consent to us selling all of your data to absolutely fucking everyone. Getting all of your children's, facial recognition software, that data out into the world. Because, that's super fucking safe. And let's not forget, all these companies get hacked every 14 seconds. So whether they're selling it or not, they're going to get hacked any minute. And then all the data is going to get stolen anyway. Because, we haven't had one of those scandals in the last 4 seconds. So, I looked at it and went, yeah, I really want to press that button. Okay, there must be an easy way. I'll just say, I don't consent to this, or I'll just get rid of it. And they went, yeah, that's not an option. You can't not consent. And you know what else you can't do? Can't get in the fucking app either. So now we are holding all of the information, all of the pictures of children that are taken at school, all the updates that school are putting out there on the app and on the app alone. All of that we are now holding hostage behind a wall that you can't get to unless you agree to let us sell all of yours and your children's data. I went, right, I'm not having this. Obviously, for me personally, as you might be able to tell, it's a little bit of a issue because I just don't want it. There's enough of it in the world, and anything that you can control, I don't want that. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to send them an email. Pressed on the I don't want you to do this button, and I wrote them a lovely email. Hi, having read your updated terms and conditions, I am contacting you now to tell you I do not want you to collect or share any of my children's data. I also do not want you to collect or share any of my data. I would like you to confirm to me that you will not do this. And I would also like you to tell me how I go about getting back into the app, because you are stopping me from getting into the app because there doesn't seem to be an option to not accept this. Yours sincerely, me. I received an email back immediately. Thank you for your email. We have received it, and someone will look at your request shortly. We'll get back to you. And I was like, oh, that's promising. 2 days go by. I receive an email. Dear Mr. Cook, we see that you've contacted us regarding generic wording. I'm like, here we go. It then went on to express at length how they absolutely would not sell, rent, or any of those sorts of things, any of mine or my children's data. However, they will share it with their services. You know, the ones that pay them to give them their data, those services. As parents and educators, they take data privacy as an absolute top, and they can understand my concerns, but I don't need to be concerned. I just need to allow them to do what they fucking want. Let's jump back a step, shall we? In their terms and conditions, it said, if you don't want us to do this, you can press this and it will auto-populate an email, which it did, to them. And you can ask them to not do that. And they won't. You may lose some of the services. If you're okay with that, go nuts. So that's what I did. I contacted them and I said, I've read your updated terms and conditions. I'd like you to not collect my data, please, or any of my children. And they came back with, that doesn't really work for us. You ever been into a shop where the person serving you is clearly on some sort of commission and they're like, oh, would you like to buy this? And you go, no, not really. And they're like, oh, for fuck's sake, well, why don't you get the fuck out then? And you're like, oh, it was all please and thank you before that. Yep, it's basically the exact same thing. I've gone to them and gone, do not collect or sell my data. And they've gone, but that's how we get paid. On top of the other way, many other ways that we get paid, you know, with our paid service through the app, and the fact that presumably all these schools that we go out to are probably paying us for the service as well. So now I'm going to have to go back to them with, you said if I contacted you and asked you not to do this, you wouldn't. So why are you now fighting me on it? Because I'm guessing 98% of people have pressed I accept your terms and conditions and got back into the app. No time lost, no muffin lost. However, little old me's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to give you my data for free. I am not a commodity. I mean, obviously I am, because that's how the world works these days, but, you know, hey. I took my car to the garage. Did I mention that? Have I already told you the story? Did I already mention this? How did it go? It went on Wednesday. So I can't have already told you this, but I feel like I've already talked about it. A couple of Wednesdays ago, I was driving the car, pulled up to pull on the drive, and there was a bang and a pop. Car's been making a bit of a squealy noise for a little while. I was like, it's either brakes or a belt. Something needs replacing or repairing. And then a bang and a pop later, and I was like, fuck, bro. Didn't use the car for 10 days. Go to use it the day before, go to get in it, and the car's like, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm like, well, this is news to me, because there's always something wrong with you. What the fuck's going on here? Oh no, there's nothing wrong with me. Why don't you try to start me? I haven't been started in 9 days. Why don't you try and start me? I bet you anything I'll start first time. It's like, well, that'll be the first. Key in, press the button, car started first time. I went, shit. Something's fucking wrong. Next day. The day that the car needs to go. Key in. Press the button, car starts straight away. I go, fuck, this is bad. I set off to drive to the garage, to drop it off, to leave it so it's there for the morning. The car is screaming. Like, the only way I've been able to describe it to people is like it was some sort of like horror movie situation where, you know, like for one of a better way of putting it, where the woman screams and it goes on for a little while and the bad things happening and she's screaming and screaming and screaming and screaming. Imagine that, but it just doesn't stop. That's the only way I can accurately describe what's happening. The car is screaming. I get there, park it up, drop the keys off. I'm like, good luck with that. I'm estimating all the things that are wrong. I'm like, it's going to need new brakes, new brake pads, new discs. I'm pretty sure like one of the calipers has gone, so that's probably going to need replacing. It's going to be hundreds and hundreds of pounds. That's the way I'm looking at it. And there we go. The next day, all day, radio silence. Gets to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, well, they close in an hour. Leon's like, well, I'm heading out that way. Why don't I pop in? It's like, sure, give it a whirl. She goes on, she comes back. Okay, I've been into the garage. They cannot find anything wrong with the car. And I'm like, the fuck? The screaming, that wasn't a problem for them. Car is perfectly fine. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. Can't find anything wrong with it. I've told them about the screaming, and they've said they'll take it for another drive. They'll put it on a ramp. They'll have a look at it. But as it stands at the moment, there's nothing wrong with our car. I'm like, what the fuck? About 20 minutes later, phone rings. Hi, it's the garage. I'm like, hi. Yeah, can't find anything wrong with your car. And I went straight in. I was like, it was screaming when I drove it to you. People were staring at me as I was driving down the road. It sounded like it was being murdered. Yeah, I can't find anything wrong with it. It's not making any noise at all. Drives fine. Like, maybe it was a heat shield that sort of popped off a little bit, got lodged somewhere, and then when you've stopped driving, it's fallen off. I'm like, none of that sounds comforting. Anyway, So I'm like, okay, so what then? They were like, well, there's nothing wrong with it. So you've got two choices. You either come and get it, or we'll keep it until next week and give it another drive. I'm like, well, you've driven it twice and you found nothing wrong with it. I might as well have it back at this point, and then at least I can use it. The car is returned. Leanne went off and got it. She comes back, she's like, there's fucking nothing wrong with the car. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's fine. It's got no warnings. It started. But she was like, it didn't start. But then I think the key fob battery needs replacing. So I replaced the key fob battery. Everything was fine. I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now? She's driven it. She's like, it's making no noise. I'm like, cool. I drive it the next day. Not a peep. There's no warnings on the dash. The car starts first time. Drive it. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. I am like, what the fuck is this shit? I'm relaying this story to a friend. And he pointed something out to me that I cannot get over. He's like, so the car's gaslighting you. I'm like, holy shit, it is as well. The car's fucking gaslighting me. I was like, my mother had a car, a VW Jetta, in the early 90s. Must have been very early 90s. And the car used to cut out. Like, you're driving along, car just cuts out. And that was that car. And every time you took it to the garage, the day of, it drove perfectly. You take it to the garage was like, absolutely nothing wrong with this car. Don't know what you're on about. She'd be like, I drove it yesterday and the engine cut out. She's like, the garage would be like, don't know what you're talking about. She'd be like, okay, fine. She'd go get the car, drive it away. Within a day or so, car starts cutting out. Book it back into the garage. And that was the life cycle of that car. That's all that car did until it magically got written off. So I'm like, my fucking car's gaslighting me. Because, I mean, I think everybody can agree it's weird. Also, so there was pointed out to me, it was like, do you reckon the people at the garage were like, were you sure it was making that noise? Because it isn't now. They must be so fucking sick of seeing that car. Honestly, it's been in the garage longer than it's been on my drive at this point in time. I feel like I'm really sorry to burden you with this, but my car's broken. And they're like, are you sure? Because last time, there was nothing wrong with it. So, I have a fantastic idea. I'm like, this is genius. Let's use this. Let's use the fact that the car's gaslighting us and get fucking rid of it. I was like, I've got a great plan. I'm going to take this car. I'm going to take it. I'm going to trade it in. I'll take it somewhere. I'll trade it in. I'll get a new car. Get a new car. Problem solved. New car. No problems. Bosh. It's like, right. I was like, me and my daughter, we're going to go car shopping. Okay, here we go. Out the door. Get in the car. Driving the car. Car's like, where are we going? Nowhere. Are you sure about that? I feel like we're going somewhere. Nope, we're just out for a drive. Oh. I don't believe you. I'm going to start making squeaky noises. Because if I make squeaky noises and we end up at a garage, you can't trade me in. Shit. We get to the garage. The garage is not as busy as you would expect on a Sunday afternoon. We have a look. They do not have the car out visible that I want. I'm like, damn it. I'm pretty sure I see a brand new one over there. I'm like, let's go and look at this. I go have a look. I was like, that's not even it. That's not the right one. Damn it. Maybe there's one inside. Go to open the door. Door's locked because they're closed. Who the fuck has a car garage that's closed on a Sunday? How are you selling any cars if you're not open on a Sunday? Who the fuck's buying a car if they're not buying it on a Sunday? Insanity. Anyway, I'm like, fuck this noise, let's go home. Drive the car home. Car drives home fine. Interesting. Leanne uses the car this afternoon. She comes back. I was like, why have you left the car out the front? Why's the car out the front? Just stick it on the drive. Can't stick it on the drive near the other car in the morning. Okay. Also, it was making that noise again. I was like, for fuck's sake. So, yeah. My car is gaslighting me, ladies and gents. And, yeah. I don't like it. What the fuck? What am I supposed to do with this fucking car at this point in time? What do I do with it? If I take it and try and trade it in, I imagine it's going to blow up on the forecourt. Just like they'll press the key fob, like, oh, let's go and have a look at it. They'll press the key fob and it'll blow up like some sort of like gangster movie. So, different story, but same story. I said to my daughter, I was like, let's go. Let's just go home. It's just me and her, Leanne, and my son. We're out for the afternoon. Just me and my youngest daughter. I was like, let's go home. I was like, in fact, do you want an ice cream? She's like, yeah. She's like, let's go get an ice cream. I was like, in fact, let's earn it. What we'll do is we'll drive home and then we'll walk to the ice cream shop. Can I go on my scooter? Yes, you can go on your scooter. Cool. So off we go. She's scooting away and walk. We get up there. She parks up. We go in. She looks at all the different ice cream options. She knows the one she wants. She picks it. I was like, I'll have a scoop of that in a cone, please. Get it. She's like, can we sit outside? I'm like, we can. Because the weather, one of those days, sunny but cold. I had 3 layers on. So I was like, yeah, we can sit outside. Absolutely no problem. Sit outside, watch the world go by. So, we're sat. She is eating the ice cream, is generous. She is taking her time enjoying the ice cream. So, I'm sat. We're talking. We had some interesting conversations. She was asking me, she was like, have you had a good day today? I'm like, yeah. Have you? She's like, yeah. And she was sort of outlining the things that she'd done that were good. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm pleased for her. I was talking about some of the stuff I'd done. And I was saying, it's nice for me and you to spend some time together. So, she is slow rolling an ice cream. I'm sat, looking out, watching the people go by. Then the panic sets in. And the panic is, oh no, I've relaxed for all of a second. There must be something to do. There must be something that I should be doing right now that I'm not. There's a job I must be neglecting. There must be something I could be doing right now to further the cause. Well, hang on a minute. There isn't anything to do. The only thing we have to worry about, me and her, is at some point she'll need some tea. That's 2 hours away. We're not rushing home because Leanne and my son were out all afternoon, and they were going to be out all afternoon. Just me and my youngest daughter, and I'm like, okay, well, what jobs are there to do? Right, there aren't any. Sunday afternoon, there's nothing pressing. Yeah, there's always a job, but so I sort of I relaxed another couple of percent. I was like, we don't need to be anywhere. Don't need to get home. Don't need to do anything until tea time, which is a couple of hours away. She is eating her ice cream. Yeah, it's taking a little while, but she's doing it. And I can just sit here for a minute and relax. Another couple of percent of relaxation. And the panic sets in. But wait, this isn't a thing. There must be something. There must be something we're supposed to be doing right now. And part of my brain's screaming, and I'm like, eat the fucking ice cream so we can go home. Just take a big bite. Fuck's sake, just eat the fucking ice cream. I'm like, go home for what? We're sitting here, enjoying each other's company, watching the world go by. She's talking a million miles an hour. She's asking me all sorts of questions. I'm responding. Relax another couple of percent. This is nice. This is nice. The panic sets in. But wait, no, you're supposed to be doing something. There must be something you should be doing right now. What jobs have you not done? What is there to do? All this. I'm like, look, let's just take a beat right now. Let's take a moment. Let's just chillax, shall we? First time in a long time where I've just taken a minute, taken a breath. And it was lovely. It was delightful. It was just this like a bubble of time where I could appreciate the time I was spending with my daughter, appreciate the fact that I was sat outside. The sun was there. It wasn't absolutely roasting. I had my big coat on. Sunglasses. The absolute best combination, by the way. It's the absolute best combination. Sunglasses and a big coat. Best combination. And I thought about it and I was like, it's so awful that the natural sort of thought process is, holy fucking shit, we should be doing something. We should be somewhere. Why aren't we doing something? Hurry up and eat that fucking ice cream. Versus just take a minute, just take it easy, just take a breath. I came home. A while later, we were sat and all these people are going past, and like an older couple came with a dog, and the dog was having an ice cream, and me and my daughter were like laughing, not laughing, but like laughing about it. It was like that dog's having an ice cream, and there were these three young lads, and they were talking about cars and all this sort of stuff, and I was like, this is nice. And I came home a bit later, and my daughter wanted to watch a movie, and I kept winding her up. I was like going into different rooms and then coming back and be like, are you happy you're sat on your own here? Because I was like, oh, shall I go down there and put the computer on? She was like, might be a bit distracting. I was like, oh, I'll just piss off then, shall I? So I kept coming back and being like, oh, are you happy sitting on your own? She'd be like, no. I'm like, oh, well, that's what you wanted. I'd hate to be a distraction. We both have a little laugh about it. Leanne came back, my son came back, he was telling me about where he'd been and what he'd been up to, and I was like, oh, sounds like you had a good time. I was like, right, let's walk the dog. Go out in the garden. That was sort of point in the evening where the sun's on the garden. Not warm, but it was like, stand in a certain place and the sun comes down on your face. Because it's at that angle and it's that time of day and it's that time of year and the sun's just on your face. And I just took 2 minutes. I closed my eyes, face to the sun. Just took a breath. Just took a minute. Just took a moment of, this is nice. I think the older you get, the more stressful everything is. But I'm starting to learn that there are real simple things in life that you can get immense enjoyment from. Like I really enjoy taking my son to football, which is a complete contrast to when I used to take him to his previous football class. Like, he moved up, and it's all like, when he was in the lower thing, it was all hands on. You had to do it all with them, and now he's moved up. It's all hands off, and he has to do it himself, and he can do it all. And it's great to just watch him get on and do it, and I really enjoy it. And because I enjoy it, I can now sort of take enjoyment from it, like actually absorb that enjoyment and be like, this is nice. Take a beat, take a minute, blah, blah, blah. There's been points in time where I've been like, I don't specifically have to be doing anything right at this moment in time. Everyone's occupied, everyone's doing something, and I'm not. And I'm panicking that I should be doing something, but maybe I should just make a drink, sit down, take 5 minutes, put a game on, put something on, put something on to do, tidy up. I do this big like sort of blitz of the gym and the games room and the toilet and stuff, and I just go through and it's like dusting and cleaning and hoovering and moving anything that needs moving and tidying anything that needs tidying, and just do it all in one go, and then it's done. I did that Saturday afternoon because I had a moment to do it, and after a while you're like, oh, it really needs a good cleaning here, and when it gets to that point where you're like, oh, it needs doing, it can get stressful, and then you do it and you feel amazing. When you look around, it's like, it looks good in here, everything's, all the dust's gone, and there was that thing on the floor and all that sort of stuff. So I feel like there's like, you reach a certain point in time where you start looking for the little enjoyments in life and really enjoying them. I think we're having this sort of thing with the dog recently. I sat down in the chair that we've got in the living room because I can actually sit in it for the 5 minutes that it's not got 9 jumpers on it. Sat down in it, and the dog came, and I was like, you remember when you were a baby and you used to have to sit on daddy's knee and lie on daddy's chest like a proper baby, and you used to have your sleeps on an afternoon because otherwise you wouldn't sleep and you'd get all beside yourself and it wasn't good for your development, so you'd come and sit on daddy and lie on his chest and have a little snooze like an actual, I used to hold you like an actual baby. And then he's like, I'm too big for that now, Dad. And he tries to get up and he can't, and he gets all flustered and frustrated, and then he pisses off, and I'm like, But I wanted you to come and sit with me. I wanted to remember like when you were a baby. Sometimes he comes and lies on the sofa and I try and hold him like a baby like I used to, and he's like, fuck off and leave me alone, Dad. I'm like, Jesus, come on, man. I need the snuggle. It's not about you. At least with the cats, they don't have much choice in the matter. You grab one and you like give them a big snuggle and rub their bellies and then tell you how much they hate you, and that kind of thing. I lost weight. First time in 2 fucking weeks. And it was a lot of weight. Lost weight just short of 3 pounds. From last week to this week. However, the 2 weeks, like last Monday and the Monday before, were fucking horrible. Really, really bad weigh-ins. Some of the highest, lowest weight type thing. And I've been telling myself all the lies, all the possible lies you can tell. I'm like, oh, it's this, and it's that, and oh, I'm just so fucking jacked, and all of this bullshit. And ultimately, it's because I eat too much of the wrong stuff. So I'm like, cool, finally lost some weight. I had a day where I had a big meal and lost some weight, and there was all this sort of stuff, and I was like, it's fucking brilliant. Then somebody had to go and wade in with a big boot with, it's interesting, isn't it? Because all the stuff that you do versus all the stuff I do, and I lost the same amount of weight as you. And I was like, huh? And she's like, well, yeah, I just ate a bit cleaner and I lost the same amount of weight as you did. It's like, uh-huh. So, and how did you achieve that? I'm like, well, I fasted for 2 days. I did OMAD, which for those of you not in the know, 1 meal a day for multiple days. And on the days that I'd more than 1 meal, I didn't eat anything before 4 o'clock, so that I was reducing my eating window. But other than that, it was real easy and simple to lose the same weight as you. She's like, yeah. Also, I don't do anywhere near the amount of exercise you do. And that was the point. I was like, for fuck's sake. Because, yeah, you know, as I keep saying, I just feel like I'm absolutely murdering myself at the moment. I was doing a workout this evening. First part of the workout, a bit of bench press. Bang, 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 bang. I was like, I honestly think I need to put the weight up on this bench press. I've been thinking that for a little while now, and I think it's time. I think I'm going to have to put the weight up. And then more like incline bench press. Bang, 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 bang. Chest fly. Bang, 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 bang. I was like, I am absolutely crushing this workout. I am murdering. Every single thing I did from that point on, it was like I had nothing in the tank. The last set of chest fly, I felt like the needle hit empty. And I was like, whoa, what was that? Every single thing I did from that point on, it was like the hardest thing I'd ever had to do. I was like, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's wrong. And this is how things are. Like, there are points in time, like, I did a run the other day. I'm off for my 5K, here we go. 2 miles in, I was like, I'm done with this run now. I don't want to do this anymore. In fact, I might walk. The only reason I carried on running was because I was like, no, because if I walk, it's going to take me so much longer to get home. So I might as well just run it. I was like, fucking hell. So yeah, you know, my big victory of losing nearly 3 pounds this week was shot to shit when somebody's like, I didn't exercise as much as you. I didn't like starve myself as much as you did. I just ate normally and I've lost the same amount of weight. So how's your regime working out? I was like, So, last thing that I wrote down, outside all the entertainment stuff, I'm at work today. And checked my emails at one point. There was, have you listened to our new album? I'm like, the fuck? So Skindred's new album came out. It came out on Friday. Today is Monday. I was like, oh, I knew one was coming, but I didn't realise it was now. I feel like I've dropped the ball on this one. Okay, so let's have a look. I'm like, so it'll be like, it'll be like £12-13. Buy it digitally. I can download it now. I can listen to it this afternoon. Yeah, it was £6. I was like, well, that can't be right. That's got to be some sort of like EP type thing. Go into it. It's got X number of tracks. I'm like, why is it £6? That has surely got to mean it's rubbish. Or it's not right. There's something wrong. Maybe the listing's wrong. I don't understand. So I had a look, and apparently there's something to do with them trying to get like a really high position in the charts. And I can only presume that is why it's the price it is. Seems strange. Not really sure. But I was like, fuck it. Get it bought quick. Bought it, downloaded it there and then, and popped it on. Not gonna lie. I am a fan. The last couple of albums, been a little ropey. The last one especially, I didn't vibe with it. There was too much not the good stuff and not enough the good stuff. And I was like, I feel I feel a bit robbed on this album. I don't feel like this album's really doing it for me. Soured me a little. Obviously, your fan base is fickle. I've been a fan for many years and I've enjoyed a lot of the albums. But I felt like the last one and maybe the one before were a little weak. So, if I'm honest, off the back of that, didn't have high hopes. The other thing being is that they seem to be doing this thing for album releases where they basically put almost every song out as a single. In the many months running up to the album release, so you've basically heard the album by the time it's released, and you listen to it and you go, oh, that's that song I've already heard 30 times because I've been listening to it for the last 9 months. So there's not that sort of impact. I will say this, I kind of tapped out on their singles for this album because I was like, it really ruined the experience for me last time. I don't want to do that this time, so I tapped out. So other than 2 or 3 tracks, the rest of the album was quite fresh for me. Gave it a listen. I told podcaster Paul Williams about it. I was like, I'm listening to it now, halfway in, so far so good. Said to him basically what I've said to you. I wasn't too enamored with previous albums. So we shall see. Listen to it. Straight back in. Second playthrough. It's not the longest of albums. So, in fact, I wonder if I can... Wow. 10 songs. 34 minutes. That could explain. What the hell is this? There's a deluxe edition that's 11 songs, 37 minutes. Can I just... no, it wants money for that. Okay, whatever. Oh, yeah. So 10 songs, 34 minutes. That's got to be something to do with the price. So I listened to it. Then I listened to it again. Sent Paul an update. I was like, this album is good. I was like, it's got a couple of down tracks, but only a couple. The rest of it, banger. I must have listened to it possibly 10 times today. Now I know why, because it's so short. And by the end of my day at work, I was dancing at my desk and didn't really care who was watching. I was bopping, but side to side. I'm doing it now. Up and down, moving and grooving. Came home, said to me in the store, hey, I've got an album for you. She's like, ooh. I was like, hey, come and listen to this. Put some of the tracks on for her. She was like, yeah. Some of them she was like, nah. Others she was like, yeah, I like this. I was like, yeah, it's good, isn't it? Definite 2 thumbs up on this one. I've added it to my playlist of current music. You can go in there with Rob Zombie's latest album, which is also a banger. I feel like we've had like a music resurgence of late. I'm listening to what I was listening to in the 90s. Yes, those bands may have released new albums. Thank you, Machine Head. But I'm listening to the music I was listening to in the 90s. And, I enjoy stuff from the 70s. So take that as you like it. For me, the big events are getting new albums from the bands I've been listening to for 30 years. When those albums are good, you're like, yay, my fan status remains. When those albums are not great, you're like, that's a shame. I guess I'll wait another X number of years for an album. So it's a real sort of pick and mix. there was a point in time where we were getting some bad albums. We won't talk about the Pirate album that Machine had put out. Not entirely sure what that was all about, if I'm honest. And like I say, Skindred have been a little hit and miss. Mention Rob Zombie, his latest album, banger. One before it, unremarkable, I would say. So it's nice when you get a collection of music where you can, listen to and enjoy. Obviously, we had another Machine Head album not too long ago, etc., etc. So that was kind of the week, hitting on nearly an hour at this point. So yeah, let's talk some TV. I haven't watched any movies. I was going to talk something about a movie. I can't think what it was right now, and I'm not going to waste time. So let's get into the nitty gritty. I have watched season 4, episodes 6 and 7 of Invincible. There is one episode left. It will be released on Wednesday this week. And honestly, I am not going to lie, I'll probably be waiting for its release, sat waiting for its release. I have thoroughly enjoyed this series. I know that there's been a mixture of reviews for this series, a lot of criticism around the animation, and X number of other things. I don't really care. I've said this a couple of times, especially through watching this series, but I honestly think it's one of the best things on TV. I like it that much that I'm prepared to go through the god-awful adverts that I have to sit through before I'm able to watch it. But only just. Don't want anybody getting ideas about me and adverts. Because I was left waiting, I jumped over to watch Mole, episode 2, 3, and 4. I watched 2, 3, and 4, and then ran out of episodes, so I'm waiting for the next episode of that. It's the highest rated Star Wars thing ever. I can see why it's very good. Unfortunately for me, I don't know enough. I know little bits about the Mole stuff. I know that there was a point in time he had a spider leg body thing. I believe the legs he has at this point in time are mechanical. There's been a point in time where one of his legs got damaged and he had to sort of do something to it to make it work again. But it's a bit more like gang warfare type thing, with a little bit of Jedi / Sith / Empire mixed in there. It's good. It is good. It's enjoyable. Honestly, I feel like my lack of knowledge is holding me back on this one. I want to just be able to watch it and enjoy, but there are things where I'm like, I feel like I should know more to understand that better. So I'm a little bit like, I feel like a bit of a fraud, I suppose. That might be sort of a way to describe it, maybe. Like I say, waiting for another episode of that. Can't remember what day they are released. Part of me thinks it's a Sunday. So that might be available. Hopefully available, because I'll need something for the treadmill tomorrow. Me and Leanne finally finished Barry season 4. We watched episodes 5, 6, 7, and 8. Just to get it finished. Bill Burr appeared as a voice in episode 6. Using obviously his podcasting chops to portray a preacher, a podcast preacher who condoned murder, and that was part of the sort of the storyline. So that was just like a fun little thing to appear in the middle of it. I described Barry to someone today as good, action-packed, sometimes funny, and sometimes absolutely off-the-wall mental. There are points in that show where you're just like, what the fuck is happening right now? I enjoyed it. I'm glad we sat and I'm glad we watched it, and I'm glad that we managed to get it finished, even though it was X number of months later. But yeah, it's one I would probably recommend if you like action and comedy and it being fucking weird at times. You know you're onto something if you have to Google what the fuck was going on there type of questions. Some people like that, some people don't. Computer games. Let's talk computer games. Like I say, no movie, I'm afraid. We're playing Crimson Desert. I was reaching a point where I was like, I think I might be done with this game. I might be tapping out on this game. I might have reached my limit with this game. And like every time in the past, I've gone away, I've done other stuff, I've leveled up, I've come back and been able to beat whichever boss or enemy that I wasn't able to, never really truly learning from my own enforced rules, which is if you can't do it, go and do something else. So I was like, right, cool. Then I found that I've been missing out on multiple different sort of missions, quests, whatever you want to refer to them as, and the game has really opened up. Also, I've done quite a lot of research into different ways of fighting, different sort of button combinations and different things I can use, whilst also leveling those abilities up, which has led to a different fighting style. It's good, works a lot better than previous. However, certain areas of the game are now a lot harder than the other areas that I've been to, and the bosses are hard as fucking balls now. So again, got into a little bit of a slump with it, and I believe this is the way this game's going to go all the way through. Because of that, I was having my eye turned, and where I was looking at other things that I owned, a couple of other things I didn't own. Resident Evil 9 is on my list of things that I was like, hell's yeah. But if Capcom hadn't done enough with Resident Evil 9, they were like, do you remember how we released Resident Evil 9 like a month ago? Here's another absolute perler of a game called Pragmata. Pragmata is the story of a guy that's definitely not based on the main character from Dead Space in any way, shape or form, who goes to the moon to help repair it's essentially like a 3D printing situation, but it's printing a space station. The space station printing system has gone haywire, and so has essentially the AI. You come in contact with a little girl who is actually a robot, AI type thing, and she becomes your companion. You work as a duo. You are responsible for shooting the evil robots, and she is responsible for hacking them and making it easier for you to shoot them. And I was like, yeah, that's a palate cleanser right there. It's got like a mini game when you do your shooting. If you complete the mini game, you get better sort of abilities and odds and whatever. And I was like, yeah, that definitely is speaking to me. Had a conversation with Leanne where I was like, there's this game. She was like, you should get it. I was like, yeah. Kind of swung on the fact that I managed to pick it up for very, very, very cheap for a game that has been released very cheap. There was a point I saw it for £42 on the PlayStation. I managed to get it on Steam for even less than that, and I mean a lot less than that. That became a no-brainer. Just purchased. I know I'm trying not to do new games at the moment because I've got plenty to be going on with, but this game was speaking to me. And boy, does this game speak to me. Somebody described it to me today as Dead Space meets Vanquish meets a couple of other things. And I was like, yeah, absolutely is. I don't really go in for a lot of exploration. Games like this. I say like this. I just want to kind of get on with stuff. I have never played a game more where I have been like, how do I get up there? How do I pick that up? How do I get that? Is there a way down there? If I go down, can I come back up? What if I go around there and press that button? What if I do this? Just purely to explore what's been given. The enemies are fantastic. They've got bigger and bigger and bigger until I fought one of the biggest bosses I've ever fought in a computer game. This coming from a man who has played Behemoth. Honestly, there's this enemy which pretty creepy. It's a giant robot baby, and I mean giant, like 3 times bigger than your character. And when this giant boss was introduced, it picked up the giant robot baby in its hand because it was that big. And I went, well, that's a big boy. And set upon beating the snot out of it. And I did. I only died once. I thought that was pretty good. It's an absolute work of art. It's an absolute masterpiece. It's a lot of reviews have given it a 10 out of 10. I've only played so much, but I've played quite a bit. It is definitely the palate cleanser that I needed for Crimson Desert. My fear is that it doesn't have the legs that Crimson Desert does. It's probably got 10%. I'm hearing 10 to 12 hours versus 120 hours. It's a real contrast. But, like I was saying to Sam today, it's already a game I imagine I will play more than once, especially if it gives me that delicious New Game Plus action. So we shall see how we get on with that. Finally, it's finally happening, ladies and gents. Into the Radius 2 is moving out of early access. And it's going to be version 1. 3 days to go. What that means is we need to get as much time playing the beta as is possible. Because after that, it'll all be done and dusted. We'll have a shiny new game that we've not been playing for 200 hours. I swear. At this point in time, I'm just messing around with it, really. I've got as many mods as I humanly can get on that game, and even now with the number of mods, I'm like, it's not enough. There's a couple of mods missing that I really liked. One is the loads of money one, but that one doesn't seem to be an option for the beta. Boo-hoo. So obviously I'll be dipping in once we go to version 1 to see what the game actually looks like and plays like. And we'll have to see what mods start coming out for it. But that will be a story for next week, I dare say. There we go. That's it. I would say tell me what you think to the new format, but it's not all that new right now. So yeah. Stay tuned for that one. Right, I'll let you go. That's it for this one. Catch you later. So there you go. What do you think of that? Another one done. Another one gone. How did you like the new format? Yeah, same great taste, wasn't it? It's the same, isn't it? It's the same. There will be a new format. I just, like a lot of parts of life, I just don't really know what I'm up to. Big thank you for watching, big thank you for listening, big thank you for being here. Before you leave us, do consider like, share, subscribe and comment. Leave a review where you can leave a review, and check out the website, thecookiecast.com. There we have social media links and an email button, and that way you can get in touch with us. That is it for this one. Until next time, I'm going to say bye, and I'll see you then.
This is a Cookie Cast production.